November 30th, 2008. Chicago. Two identical twins step into a federal building. No cuffs, no guards, no chase. They came by choice. Pedro and Margarito Flores, kingpins behind a $2 billion narcotics empire, are surrendering on their own terms. Inside their jackets is something no one expects. Secret recordings of El Chapo Guzman, the world's most feared drug lord. They didn't flip because they were caught. They flipped while sitting on top of an empire, living in mountain mansions, traveling with bodyguards, raising tigers in their yards. It doesn't make sense unless you know what happened before the surrender. Before the riches, before the betrayals, before everything came crashing down. Because this story does not begin with power. It begins in a cramped kitchen in Chicago, with two newborns destined to walk a road no child should ever see. And once that road begins, there is no return. March 1981. Federal agents swarm a little village home. A man begs, "Please, my wife is pregnant. Don't cuff me in front of her." They do it anyway. 3 months later, she gives birth to twin boys, Pedro and Margarito. Their father enters prison. Their lives enter a pipeline toward inevitability. Growing up, Little Village looks like a neighborhood of hard workers. But inside the Flores home, the boys attend a different kind of school. By age 7, they're learning how to retrieve heroin from car engines, how to weigh narcotics on triple beam scales, how to hide packages inside gas tanks, how to stay silent. While their classmates memorize spelling words, the twins memorize drug routes. But the person who shapes them most is Armando, their older brother, smooth, organized, respected. Not a gang member, a businessman. Don't be like the streets, he warns. Be smarter. He gives them their first apartment. Their first network. Their first glimpse into the world of money and power. THEN 1998. A federal raid destroys Armando's operation. He's sentenced to 5 years. His empire collapses overnight. And the vacuum left behind pulls two teenagers into a world they were trained for. Long before they understood what it meant. Moguls by 1999, still teenagers, the twins move multi-kilo cocaine loads across Chicago. Every lesson from childhood snaps into place. Their growth becomes unstoppable. By age 22, they own multiple homes, luxury fleets, warehouses, a distribution network stretching across states, a reputation for discipline. They run their empire like executives, quiet, clean, efficient. But efficiency attracts attention. Attention attracts rivals, and rivals attract danger. And danger, in their world, never knocks politely. Pedro is kidnapped by a Chicago crew. A ransom of $2.4 million in cocaine buys his return. But that was only a preview. 2005 brings the real nightmare. Their cartel-connected middleman claims they owe $10 million. They refuse. In the drug world, refusal is a sentence. Pedro attends what he thinks is a routine meeting. Instead, 30 masked men ambush him. He's beaten, stripped, handcuffed, gone. 15 days, no food, no water. No clues, only silence and the constant expectation of a bullet. Margarito realizes there is only one person who can save his brother, and confronting him is suicide. El Chapo Guzman. Everyone tells Margarito the same thing. If you go up that mountain, you don't come back. But he goes, because blood demands risk. A teenage pilot flies him to a dirt runway carved into a mountain. Armed men escort him through a concrete compound that feels more like a tomb. Then Chapo appears. Small. Calm. You know, Chapo says, people who come up here don't go back. Margarito opens the ledgers. Their lifeline. Every peso. Every kilo. Every truth. Chapo studies the numbers. He doesn't blink. That night, Pedro is dumped on a desert road, barefoot, starving, a handcuff key hidden in his shoe. You're lucky, he's told. Your brother saved you. Trust is born. Not friendship, not loyalty. A dangerous, fragile trust, the kind that opens doors you may never safely exit again. 2005 to 2008, the Flores twins transform from high-level dealers into logistical masterminds. They move 1,500 to 2,000 kilos per month across 30 major U.S. cities using ingenious concealment methods. Their partners, El Chapo, brilliant but paranoid El Mayo Zambada, strategic, almost fatherly Arturo Beltran Leyva, meticulous and lethal. Their lives become surreal. Tigers pacing outside their mountain estates, vacations in Puerto Vallarta, private jets, armored convoys, endless cash. They make $10 million a month. But success brings weight, and weight eventually snaps. Because in the drug world, the higher you climb, the more people want to see you fall. Pedro's wife becomes pregnant. He should feel joy. Instead, he feels something foreign: fear, a future, a child, a life he may not see. Then the unthinkable. The cartel erupts into civil war. Chapo vs. Beltran Leyva. Bodies hung from bridges. Cities turned into war zones. And the twins? They've worked with both sides. Both sides demand loyalty. Both sides promise death for betrayal. Pedro calls it hopeless. Margarito calls it a sign. Both call it time to escape. But there is no exit in a cartel. Only detours toward death. Unless you do something unthinkable. Unless you flip the entire world upside down. October 2008. The twins reach out to the D, not from handcuffs. Not from interrogation rooms. From cartel mansions. They begin secretly recording conversations. Not 1. Not 10. 54. Every recording is a razor pressed against their own throats. But they need the voice that matters most. El Chapo's. Chapo never calls anyone directly. So the twins commit a strategic sin. They renegotiate a shipment after receiving it, an insult that forces Chapo to respond. The phone rings. "Amigo," he says, cheerful and unsuspecting. He laughs, negotiates, talks numbers. Every second is captured. Twice they catch him. Twice he never suspects. The most powerful drug lord alive, trapped by the very men he trusted. November 30th, 2008. The twins surrender. Their wives later say that first night in prison felt free. Freedom tasted like fresh air, even behind bars. Because outside, the cartel's shadow never sleeps. And soon that shadow strikes. Their father insists on returning to Mexico. Everyone warns him. The twins plead with him. Federal agents tell him flat out, it's a death trap. He goes anyway. Days later, his car is found abandoned. A note left behind: "Your sons are rats." His body is never recovered. The twins receive the news mid-cooperation. They break down, but they do not stop. Because stopping now would mean their father died for nothing. The evidence detonates across federal courtrooms. Indictments spread. Cartel leaders fall. Networks shatter. Then, the trial the world has waited for. Brooklyn, 2018. United States versus Joaquín Guzmán Lora. Pedro enters the courtroom. Navy scrubs. Wedding band. No translator. He tells everything: routes, cash trains, stash houses, logistics, the 60 tons. The 38 tons tied to Chapo. The recordings do the rest. The verdict: guilty, on all counts. Chapo is sentenced to life plus 30 years. Axe Florence, the tomb where time stands still. Two brothers from Chicago helped bury a legend. But legends don't die quietly. They take enemies with them. The Flores twins walk out of federal prison. Legally free, realistically hunted. Instead of hiding, Margarito does something shocking. He goes public. He speaks at universities, trains law enforcement, explains cartel logistics with unsettling clarity. Some officers admire him. Others can't stand him. Meanwhile, their wives face money laundering charges. Luxury cars, hidden spending, suspicious transfers, questions multiply. And one question echoes above all: where is the rest of the money? $1.8 billion moved. Only a fraction recovered. Someone knows the answer. Someone wants the answer. Someone might kill for the answer. Then, Margarito reaches out to a man who once kidnapped Pedro, to forgive him. Redemption, he calls it. But redemption is not absolution. Especially in a world built on blood. Judge Castillo once warned them. Every time you start your car, you'll wonder if it will explode. Today, that warning is their daily reality. Every ignition, every stranger, every shadow behind them, every unfamiliar car in the mirror. They toppled the most powerful drug lord alive. They shattered a pipeline that flooded America. They helped end an era. But in doing so, they earned a life sentence without walls. Because some prisons are built from fear, not concrete. And for the Flores twins, that prison will travel with them for the rest of their lives.